So in this we will learn what is a data type. Okay, here as you can see there are different kinds of data type. The first kind of data types we are calling it as a primary data types, and the second kind of data type we are calling it as a secondary data types, and the third kind of data types we are calling it as a derived data types. Among primary, secondary and derived data types, we majorly concentrate on this the primary data types, and the secondary and the derived data types we can learn it later in the next chapters. So let us go with the explanation of the each and every data type here. Here as you can see, int occupies how much of memory? 2 bytes of memory. These are called as the primary data types. So why we use int? We use the int to store the integers. Okay, so whenever you are learning any data type, you have to understand int means it is a short form of the integer. Okay, if you want to store one integer, let us say I want to store one integer, let us say 10, then I am going to use the data type called int. Okay, so here how much integer, what is the minimum integer that I can store in this kind of data type is -32768. Okay, the minimum value which I can store in this kind of data type is called as the minimum value, that is called as -32768, and the minus value can be called as a 32767. It is being predefined. Okay, it's a rule. Okay, so it occupies how much is the space on the memory, in the memory, in the sense in the main memory or the RAM, it is going to occupy 2 bytes. That you need to remember whenever you are learning any kind of data type. You must learn what is the amount that it occupies on the memory, that is the 2 bytes, and the what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value. This we need to remember. And one more thing to remember, there is some format specifier. If you want to print an integer, you must use %d within the printf statement. Okay, so we will learn that also. So here the 2 bytes of memory and the minimum value is -32768 and the maximum value is 32767, and %d is the format specifier, remember. And float is going to occupy 4 bytes. How much float? A float value is nothing but a pointed value. A float value is nothing but a pointed value, remember. So here you need to, here also remember the minimum value of that it can store and the maximum value that it can store. -3.4 into exponent e to the power of 38 to +3.4 into exponent of 38, that is the minimum and maximum value that which can be stored in a float data type. Okay, so what is the amount of bytes that it can occupy in the memory space? That is 4 bytes. And what is the format specifier? That is nothing but the %f is the format specifier. Let's go for the char data type. Similar to these kind of data types, char will also occupy. Char is a single character actually, just like A, B, C, D or whatever, star, special characters or whatever the keys that are there on the keyboard, every key I can call it as a character except the functional keys F1, F2. These are not called to be as a characters, but generally all the alphabets, special characters like star, and the digits like 0, 1, 2 up to 9 will be called as a characters. So what is the data type that we use for storing this kind of characters? Char is the data type. And the minimum value that you can store is -128 and the maximum value that you can store is 127. Here this 128 and 127 actually represents the ASCII values. So just remember, whenever you are learning this data type, what is the size? What is the size? That is, if you look at the int, the size is 2 bytes and the minimum and maximum values are like this, and the percentile d is going to be the format specifier. Three values to remember: one is the size, another is the range, that is the minimum to maximum value, and the format specifier, which is used to print that onto the computer screen. So what is the 1 byte of memory will be stored in the character? Okay, it is going to occupy 1 byte on the memory space. And what is the format specifier? The percentile C is going to be the format specifier. Similarly, we have the fourth kind of data type, that is the double data type. It is going to occupy how many bytes? Is 8 bytes. Okay, it is the long, this is nothing but the double, right? The double is going to occupy much more space when compared to the intent char data type. Okay, and what is the format specifier here? Percentile small lf will be the format specifier. So based on this, we are going to write one program, and also we are going to trace the program. We are going to explain everything step by step, every step. Int a is equal to 10 is nothing but I am declaring a variable a which is of int data type. So what will happen by this statement? A variable a is created, and what the int variable is going to occupy int data type 2 bytes, that it is going to occupy on the memory space. And what is the value that I am going to store? The value 10. So this is the execution that is happening internally. Again, one more variable c is created, and as it is a float variable or float data type, it is going to occupy 4 bytes on the memory space, and the name of the variable is c, and the value that is going to be stored is 2.88. Okay, similarly double d is equal to 28.888. So here also a variable d is created, and in the variable d, what is the value that we are going to store? 28.888. Now I want to print them. So whenever you want to print them, you have to use the format specifiers. We already told to remember the format specifiers of int, float, char and double, right? Here the same thing is printed onto the screen. Whenever you write the printf statement, in the double quotes we have written integer, so it will be written as it is onto the screen, will be printed as it is on the screen. Percentile d is the integer. What is the value that is available in a? You can see here the value available in a is nothing but the 10. So I am going to print the 10 here. So integer, and what will be printed here? 10 will be printed, right? And backslash n is there, the cursor will move to the next line. So right now the cursor is here, and it is going to print from this point onwards. Here we have something like character, it will be printed as it is. After that we have this one, percentile c b. What is the value that is available in b? As you can see here, the value available in b, okay, see here it is not declared here. The value available in b is char is not declared. Let us take it as something like x. Okay, no problem. So in b, what is stored? X is stored. That's why here I am going to write the character value as x. So next one is the float value. It will be written as it is onto the screen. And what is the float data type value here? As you can see here, the float data type has 2.88. So I am going to print 2.88 onto the screen, So here 2.88 will be printed by this statement. Similarly, this also going to print the same message, same as that is mentioned in the double quotes and colon symbol. Percentile LF, I'm going to store the D value. The D value is nothing but, as you can see here, 28.888. So I'm going to store the 28.888. Okay, so this is the tracing of this program. So here always we have to remember that there are three types of data types: primary, secondary, and derived. These secondary and derived data types can be learnt later, but here primarily we have to discuss about the primary data types, and in each data type we have to remember what is the size, what is the range, and also what is the format specifier, that is the percentile D and percentile F, like that. So after remembering them, we are going to write one program where we are going to print the values. Here A value is 10 and B value is X. So let us write the B value also. B value is how much? X. In B a character is stored. So we have taken three data types, that is the int, char, float, and double. That is the four data types, and we have stored some values and we are printing those values in this particular program.